salvation. My first text will be in Matthew 17, 22, and 23. But before we get to that, let's pray. Dear God, please give me the confidence to deliver this sermon and help somebody, Lord. In your wonderful name, amen. In chapter 17, 22 and 23, it says, And while they abode in Galilee, Jesus said unto them, The Son of Man shall be betrayed into the hands of men, and they shall kill him, and the third day he shall be raised again. And they were exceeding sorry. You see, when Jesus come down from heaven in the flesh, he knew that he was going to die for our sins. He was prophesying to the disciples that he was going to die for our sins. Even while he was still a baby, he knew that he was going to grow up and die for our sins. You see, when Jesus told this to the disciples, in the end of verse 23, it says, and they were exceeding sorry. You see, a loved one was telling them that later on in his life, he was going to die and raise again, and they were not very happy about this. You see, I'm going to quote John 3:16. It says, For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. You see, it was hard for God to give up his only Son, Jesus. This was a lot that he had, but he was giving it up for us. You see, when I was thinking about this sermon, I thought of an illustration that says there was a bridge operator and his son. And the bridge operator and his son loved each other very, very much. And one day, the bridge operator told the son, he said, you can go ahead and come to work with me. And the son loved fishing. So the bridge operator watched his son out one window and watched his work, and watched his work on the other. You see, his son was over there fishing, but his son heard a train coming. But the train didn't see the red light that the bridge was up. The man didn't hear that the train was coming, but the son remembered his dad had showed him a lever that would make the bridge collapse. The boy ran over, reached down to grab the lever and missed it and fell in the water. The dad looked over and saw just as soon as his son went under screaming. You see, the dad then knew that the train was coming. He heard the train. See, the dad had to choose whether to save all the people on that train or save his son. You see, the dad pulled the lever and saved all those people on that train, but he lost his son. See, just like the bridge operator, God gave his son for all of us. You see, I'm going to go ahead and read Matthew 27 through 38. And it says, Then the soldiers of the governor took Jesus into the common hall, and gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers. And they stripped him, and put on him a scarlet robe. And when they had platted a crown of thorns, they put it upon his head, and a reed in his right hand. And they bowed the knee before him, and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews! And they spit upon him, and took the reed, and smote him on the head. And after that they had mocked him, they took the robe off from him, and put his own raiment on him, and led him away to crucify him. And as they came out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by the name. Him they compelled to bear his cross. And when they were come unto a place called Golgotha, that is to say, a place of a skull, they gave him vinegar drink mingled with gall. And when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. And they crucified him, and parted his garments, casting lots, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots. And sitting down they watched him there, and set up over his head his accusation written, This is Jesus, King of the Jews. You see, this time on the cross was hard for Jesus. He had been beaten, he had been spit upon, they had ripped his beard from him. You see, but Jesus had to stay pure during all this, because our sins were so dark and vile and disgusting that we had to have a pure sacrifice to save us from our sins. See, in verse 38 it says, Then there were two thieves crucified him, one on the right hand and another on the left. You see, later on in this chapter, I'm not going to get into it, but it says, one of the thieves was mocking Jesus, and one of the thieves was telling the other not to mock Jesus. And Jesus turned to the thief that was telling the other not to mock him and said, Today you will be with me in paradise. You see, even on the cross during all this pain and turmoil, Jesus was still ministering. He was still in his earthly ministry. You see, here in chapter 27, this looks like this is the end of the story. But then I'm going to turn the page to Matthew 28, 1 through 6, and it says, In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre. And behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Lord descended from heaven, and came and rolled back the stone from the door, and sat upon it. His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment white as snow. And for fear of him, the keepers did shake and become as dead men. And the angels answered and said unto them, Fear not, for I know that you seek Jesus, which is crucified. He is not here, for he is risen. As he said, Come see the place where the Lord lay. You see, thank God that Jesus resurrected. In chapter 17, 22 and 23, he prophesied that he would resurrect. I believe that everything that God says will happen, will happen. And I want to leave you with this question. Are you happy that Jesus rose again from the dead, just like he said he would? Thank you. Yeah.